Hey guys, if you don't already know, it's Kaz Hazard, call me Kaz. Hope you guys are doing well today, and if not, hopefully I can bring you good spirits and good vibes. And if you're new here, welcome here. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I don't even know what to call it. I'm gonna read Reddit, like the Reddit forum about DoorDash, just like I guess comments on DoorDash and drivers and stuff, because you guys don't already know I do DoorDash. If you like to see, then stay tuned. So let's see. So I opened it up. So the first one I got, it says, let's be real, how many times a week y'all eat at McDonald's? I would go elsewhere, but it's the cheapest and it makes me happy. I dash 5 to 6 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Oh my gosh. And I go 2 to 3 times a dash. Wow, I always get a coffee and a cheeseburger for like $4. I train a lot though, so I don't gain weight. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's understandable that, you know, they're choosing fast food to eat because, you know, I've noticed, like, even from, like, talking to another, like, food delivery driver or whatever, she said what she ate, and it was just like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, for me, I can't really do that. I have to come back home and fix food for me and my little one because it's just not an option. Like, I'm not gonna eat fast food like that, and then two, like, my little one needs nutritious meals, and so do I. I'm not gonna sacrifice that. And I don't DoorDash from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's a very long time. Wow, that is a very long time to DoorDash. Woo. Let's see the next one. This one says customers that leave a 1-star review should have to state why. It says every 1-star review I've gotten has been after a customer complained about a missing item from their order. Yesterday I dropped off a McDonald's order. After the drop off, the customer texted me, "Where is my medium fry and basket of fries at?" They aren't in the bag, and of course today I wake up to another 1-star review. DoorDash should ask the customers why they're unhappy with the delivery, and if it's anything to do with the missing item or the food in general, then the review should be excluded from showing up. I completely agree on that one, because a lot of times, obviously it's not the DoorDasher's fault why your food's missing. I mean, yes, there's a case where it could be because they could have eaten it, but like most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. Like, your item's missing because the restaurant didn't put it in your order, and so it shouldn't be the driver's, like, it shouldn't like make you leave a 1-star review or a lesser review on the delivery itself, because it's the restaurant's fault. The restaurant is the one that messed up. And so, you know, a lot of times if I know something's going to be missing, then I text them before I even leave the place. And I'm just like, hey, you know, they didn't provide this for you, or they said they were out of this, they gave you this instead. You can always go, when you go to your order, you just make sure to get a refund for your product, because that's all food delivery apps. You have a choice of getting a refund for something that you didn't get, instead of leaving a 1-star review on a dasher or just a food delivery driver. It's ridiculous. Okay, this one says contract violation. Got my first contract violation today. It said the order was never delivered. It was a handed customer order. I called them numerous times and they didn't pick up. I left it by the front door and texted them its location and marked it as delivered. How badly did I mess up? Am I a screw up? Oh, man, so see, you know what? I've never done that. Like, yes, it takes a lot of patience, but if I can't reach a customer, then I've called DoorDash. I've waited for 30 minutes. Like, I'm not about to, you know, get a violation on an order because I couldn't reach the customer. Like, you have to figure something out. And yes, it does suck when you have to call, you know, support and all that stuff, because it takes forever. You got to tell them the whole situation, and you're already like built up, you know, all this tension because they're not answering the phone, they're not texting you back. You could possibly already have another order. It's just a whole hot mess. You don't have time for it because time is money, right? But I've always called support because I'm not about to get a violation. They will fix it for you. And if you can't get a hold of them, then it's on them. It's on the customer. It's not on you. But you have to make sure you contact support. I mean, yeah. Luckily, I've never really had that issue unless it's been very late at night and it was like my last order. I've never had it to where it's like in the middle of the day and I'm doing like a dash, because I do DoorDash, Grubhub, and like Corner Shop. I do a bunch of them, but I've never had an issue where, you know, that happened to me when it's like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, obviously, like I said, time is money, but a lot of times it happens at the end of the day. It's late at night. You don't have to really worry about it because, well, I've never had to worry about it because it's, you know, it's my last order. Okay, it says, a dasher asked me to cancel. Just now, I had an order of a large meal, which came up to $50. And I checked the tracking, and it says the dasher is picking up my order. Then I get a call, but didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer it, but ended up calling back. It was the dasher, long story short. The dasher was like, the restaurant can't find my order, and they refused to give it to me. Or give it to them. And I was like, that's strange because I charged my card. The dasher was like, sorry, but you should go ahead and cancel your order. And at this point, I was about to, until it said, if I did, I would not get a refund. So the order is still open, saying the dasher's picking up an order. And I don't know if the dasher is being honest or should I just cancel. Okay, you know what? I kind of read that fast. Let me read that again. So basically, they're saying they had a $50 order. The person called them, so I'm guessing the dasher called them. They didn't answer, so they ended up calling them back, and it says the restaurant can't find their order and that they refused to give it to them. So the restaurant refused to give the dasher the order, but it's already charged their card. And then it says the dasher said was like, I'm sorry, but you should go ahead and cancel your order. So the dasher is telling the customer to cancel the order. And then it says, at this point, I was about to, until I said, if I did, I would not get a refund to the order. See, that doesn't make any sense. I've never experienced this. Okay, I will say I've experienced where I've showed up and the order was already taken. And it actually happened a lot with Grubhub, where I would show up and the order was already taken. Like, somebody already took the food. So of course, you know, I'm going to contact the customer and let them know what's going on. I tell the restaurant, like, hey, I'm the one that's supposed to be picking this up. Because when you are a driver, you know, you have your picture there, you have your information, so they know who's supposed to be picking it up. So it's no telling who came in to impose me or whatever. Like, they probably didn't impose anybody, but like, if the restaurant's not really paying too much attention to who's picking up the orders, then that happens all the time. And so some of these restaurants are cracking down on it. It happens a lot during the winter season, I'll say, though, like, you know, like the holiday season where this happens, because it's probably because restaurants are really busy and they're not really paying attention to who's coming in and out of their store, and people are just picking up people's food and they're probably eating it for themselves. It's not even a food delivery person or whatever. So this hasn't happened to me like this whole summer, but it did happen to me in the winter. But like I said, I would call the customer and I would let them know what's going on. I would tell the restaurant. A lot of times they just remake the food, and it kind of sucked because time is money, and I'd have to sit there and wait for them to remake the food. At one time, it was an order of like 6 hamburgers and like all this fries and stuff. So I had to sit there for good 30-40 minutes for them to make all this food again because somebody came in before me and got the food. But it was luckily one of my last orders, so I just waited. But yeah, that sucks. Like, but it's all about the restaurant. They really have to crack down, which I think maybe, like I said, maybe it was that season, or maybe it's a certain season that people do that. But if the restaurant is taking initiative and they are making sure they see who comes in to get the food and they're asking who are you getting the food for, instead of just leaving it on the shelf for people to just come in and grab, then it shouldn't happen that way. It says Buffalo Wild Wings in my market has perfect system in place for DoorDash. Every other restaurant in the country should try to copy it. When an order is about 3 minutes away from being completed, they send for a dasher to pick it up. When the order comes out, they stick it in an oven to keep it warm until the dasher picks it up. This means that even if the dasher is late to the store, for whatever reason, the customer's order stays hot. This also means that when the dasher arrives, they only have to wait like 2 to 3 minutes tops for their order. Even if a restaurant doesn't have an oven to keep the orders warm, they could just use some kind of hot bag like dashers use. The system works out well for all parties involved. Yeah, I don't know where they live. But they don't do that here. I'm in Texas, DFW area, whatever. Like, they don't do that here. Buffalo Wild Wings, like, honestly, in my opinion and from my experience, Buffalo Wild Wings is one of the places I don't like to get food delivery from, whether it be Grubhub, whether it be DoorDash. And it's only because, yes, they're a place that's open very late. I think, like 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. sometimes, right? They get a lot of customers, you know, already dining in, and then you are a dasher or you're a Grubhub driver, whatever, picking up their food, probably Uber Eats too. And a lot of times it's not ready. It's not ready. And I get it, they're busy, but it's just irritating because I have a little one with me. I don't have time to like wait 30 minutes. And I swear, like, every time, not every time, but a lot of the times I've had to wait. Even if the Buffalo Wild Wings wasn't that busy, I've had to wait for my order. It wasn't ready. And then they don't have this system. This person's saying they don't have that system. They put it on a shelf. It's sitting there till whoever comes to pick it up. So the food may not be hot when you get it. I have, you know, my hot bags and stuff like that. So I'm going to make sure that people's food is as hot as it can get. But they don't have that system here. I don't know where this person lives. But back to Buffalo Wild Wings. I've had to wait like almost 30 minutes for somebody's order, and it wasn't even worth it because it wasn't even that much pay. I got my little one with me and they're running around, they're, you know, doing their own thing, and I'm trying to keep them entertained. And it's just it's easier for me if I'm in and out, you know. I got my little one with me and they're either in the carrier or they're running around a little bit, and we can go and we can leave, right? 5-10 minutes. That's like the max. But when it ends up being 20-30 minutes, I start getting like really irritated. I'm like, I'm trying to be patient, you know, because that's, you know, what you got to do with this type of job. You know, I have to have an extra amount of patience because I have a little one with me. But it's like, it's hard sometimes because it's like, dude, I should not have to wait 30 minutes for this person's food. They're not even paying me this much. And then a lot of times too, it always is the ones where they don't tip you a lot, or they're very rude. Like, you'll text them like, hey, I'm still waiting on your food. They don't even give a crap. They don't text you back, or they'll just say something slick, or not even slick, but just rude. And it's like, dude, it's not even worth it, but you just do it, you know. It's good customer service. But Buffalo Wild Wings, from my experience, is not, that's one of my least favorite merchants to deliver from. Seriously. Okay, it says oh, as a consumer, I'm fed up with DoorDash. So this is from a customer. It says, reading this subreddit, you hear lots of angry dashers complaining about customers who didn't tip or tip nothing. Well, I tip my driver pretty well, $5 to $10, but I still get lousy service a lot. I have even tried the approach of tipping $2 versus $10 for the same order, and the results have not been different. 1 out of 5 dashers I get has one of the following issues. Does not know a word of English, so order does not show up. Okay, you know, the reason I think that's so funny is because, my little one's dad was talking about it too, like, because he gets a lot of, like, delivery food to his house, and basically, like, he's like, it's always the foreigners, like, where they cannot find the apartment. It's always the foreigners. They don't really speak good English. I have to go out there and meet them a lot of the time. So, basically what he's saying is that, and what this person's saying is, like, people that are not from here, they don't know the area very well, it's not going to be really good for you when you get food from them, because they're not going to know where you are. They're not going to really know how to just like figure out the maps, because it's already confusing enough as it is if you're someone that's from here and know the area. Google Maps does not always take you where you're supposed to go. You have to call the driver and da 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 da. But a lot of these foreigners, they don't want to do all that. So they call. Obviously, they're going to call. But like if they don't really speak very good English, it's going to be a struggle. So it's irritating. That's why I don't do delivery like to my house. Like I'm a delivery driver, but I don't do delivery. Yes, I mean I ship packages and stuff here, but food, no, I'm going to go out and get it. I'm just not. But anyways, back to this because I'm getting on a tangent. It says, does not know a word of English, so order doesn't show up. If he or she knows English, he or she makes zero effort to read my instructions about delivery to my apartment. So the person calls and says he or she is here on the maps. It's obvious the driver is a block away. Ask the person to take a look at the instructions. Sometimes they do and they follow, but more often than not, they don't. They instead make some excuse such as parking issues or will drop my order off at my apartment leasing office, which is a bit of a walk. Now this is in spite of giving an $8 tip. Some of you will say, so what? The time that I had COVID, I didn't want to leave my apartment. Obviously, the food also shows up very late, even with a good tip of 20% of the order. I'll place an order at 5:30 and it comes at 7:15. Not surprisingly, most of the orders is soggy and not close to the original state. This is why I never order fries or milkshakes or ice cream. These fries show up cold and soggy while the shake is just room temperature milk. Okay, we're gonna pause there. I completely understand. You know, where they're talking about the delivery instructions. So I made it a point to, a lot of times you have a little bit of time in between, like where you're getting the food and you're leaving. So I try to read it, at least while I'm in the car or whatever, before I like pull off. I'll try to read the instructions because you need to most of the time, especially if it's like an apartment or it's a suite, like in a hotel or whatever, you have to read it. So I make sure to read the instructions. But, you know, obviously everyone's not doing that, but you need to because you don't know what they're going to say, you know, when it comes to like delivery instructions. And then as for leaving at the leasing office, that's bad, you know, like I've never done that, you know. I think that's a contract violation. Maybe it's not, but I've never done that. If I cannot get to them, I'm going to call them. You know, and I've had times where I've had to wait an extended amount of time before I got a hold of them, or we met up with the food, but I did it, you know, because that's what you're supposed to do as a delivery driver. That's good customer service. But some people just don't have the patience. And obviously this person saying they had COVID, they didn't want to leave the apartment. I mean, obviously if somebody's sick, they're not going to want to leave their apartment to get the food. That's why they're doing the delivery service. That sucks. And then it says that's why I don't order fries or milkshakes. See, I don't get it. I do not get it because I get orders. Like I get it when you're like close by, right? You're like literally right down the street, a couple miles, not even a couple miles, right? Where you get milkshake or fries. It makes sense. But these people that literally you have to drive almost 20 minutes to get them their milkshake or fries, it does not make sense to me. Like if you want that kind of food, you either need to live close by the restaurant or you need to go pick it up yourself. Because you're not going to get it. There's no device I have or any device that these food delivery drivers have in their car that's going to keep that stuff from melting or, you know, not getting soggy. Fries, it's like obviously that comes with majority of people's food. So that's kind of like, it depends on the place and like what you want to, you know, how you want to go about it. But milkshakes and ice cream, I don't even do that. Honestly, like I said, if I know that it's for a further distance and I see that it is ice cream or whatever, I'm going to cancel it. Because first of all, it's not even worth the money. And then, okay, so what, they're going to complain that I didn't deliver it to them fast enough. But the thing is, you know how far you are from a restaurant most of the time. I mean, I think you do when you go on to deliver the food. You know how far you are. So it's like, okay, if you know you're that far, you know you're 15, 20 minutes away from the restaurant. Why are you ordering this type of food to get delivered? Because it's going to take me 15, 20 minutes, if not longer, to get it to you because I'm the one picking it up for you. You don't know if it's like super busy in there or whatever. So then why are you getting this kind of food? You need to go out and get it yourself. And if you can't, then you shouldn't be getting it at all or trying to make it at home. But that's not how people think. But okay, getting off, this is a long one. So it says, so I'm expected to pay $10 in fees per order unless I pay for a Dasher pass per month. I'm expected to tip $5 to $10 for a sandwich, fries, and a drink or whatever. The corresponding 20% is. And I get a Dasher who doesn't know English or doesn't drop the order off at my place and the food tastes like it was leftovers from earlier in the day. I know most of you aren't this way, but thanks for listening to this rant. I've used Amazon Fresh and marijuana dispensers, and both services don't screw up nearly as much. Well, you know what? Another thing too, my little one's dad, they have a DoorDasher pass. I think I know a couple people that have a DoorDasher pass. That's probably worth it because you don't have to pay as much. Like if you get, I think it's like a monthly pass or a yearly pass, you pay a certain amount of money up front. And so when you're doing your, you know, your food delivered to you, it doesn't cost as much and you can tip people like you should. That's probably better if you know if you're like one of those people that really like, you know, dine out a lot, you know, you get a lot, it's probably worth it to do that. People, I guess they just haven't realized it, but that's probably the best way to go. So you know, but I mean, hey, you get what you pay for. Like you have to realize people are so far, you know, away. You're already far away from the restaurant. Like what do you expect? Your food's not going to taste hot and fresh off the cakes because it's not hot and fresh off the cakes. And also too, depending on when you order your food, if it was like the, you know, the busy hour of the restaurant, you know, you may be getting leftovers from previous, like a couple hours, you know, just like you would if you walked in. You know, people have to realize that it's not the DoorDasher's fault. But yes, a lot of times it is the DoorDasher's fault if they just aren't communicating with you. They're not letting you know, because I am somebody that communicates all the time. Like that's the key of this. You constantly text people, even if it's bugging you, text them. Hey, okay, I'm sitting here waiting for your order. I haven't got your food. I'm still sitting here. Okay, you get the food. Hey, I'm on the way. Okay, this has happened. They don't have this. You just have to communicate everything. And a lot of times you're not gonna get bad reviews if you just communicate everything. Yes, you do have that, you know, one customer out of a few where they're just like, they're not even answering anything you tell them, and then they get their food and they're pissed and they call you or whatever. Because I've had a few of those, and they told me, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't get my food. I'm like, that's not even possible, dude. Like it was like this one time, it had never happened, and I think it was a Grubhub that I dropped off the food because it was kind of like, they're like, oh, it's a duplex. Okay, so it's a little bit different. It's not an apartment, it's not a house, it's a duplex. But a duplex is, I think, kind of like a house, but like it's split into two, right? So it was like, okay, it's this one at this number, right? You know, I read the instructions. I even looped around, like it took me 5-10 minutes to go back because they weren't responding to me, right? So I'm like, okay, what's going on? They're not responding to me. I'm trying to make sure this is it, because like it had to be the only one. And I'm like, okay, so I dropped it off. Tell me why 30 minutes goes by. 30 minutes goes by. This person finally calls me and they're like, I didn't get my food. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't get your food? I mean, I didn't say it like that. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. Like, you know, I'm kind of like, it's been a while since I did your order. You know, I'm already like, what, 2 or 3 orders past you? It was probably like another, I had already done another order and I was on the second order. So that's like the 3rd order since them, right? Or the 2nd order since them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do, because I'm already like in the middle of another order. I don't know how you didn't get your food, but I mean, obviously you can just refund your food like on the app. But I don't know how you didn't get your food. And 2, I did try to contact you multiple times and you didn't answer the phone. So, but you know what? I've noticed obviously with working different food delivery apps, you're going to get different experiences. And with this one, I think it was, like I said, it was a Grubhub, I believe. And Grubhub, I've never really had to contact customer service, because the way they do theirs, most of the time, I don't have any issues with trying to contact the customer and all that stuff. But DoorDash, I've had to call. I've had to call the support or whatever. But you know, there's certain types of customers you'll get. I rarely get them though. Okay, so it says there's another one. I wonder how long this video is gonna be, because I've been talking for a while. Let's see. It says rejecting low-paying orders. Okay, so it's rejecting low-paying orders. Seriously, it's getting so bad. We all need to band together and one day reject all orders under $6. I've been getting 10-mile orders for $3 lately, and my acceptance rate went to. But I'm never going to waste my time again. What the H is this? Is up with this? Y'all got what I meant. I'm not about to curse on here. Oh my god, my foot's asleep. Oh my god. Don't y'all hate when your foot falls asleep? I was sitting weird. Is rejecting low paying orders. Man, I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten like 10 miles for $3. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care about my acceptance rate that much. Like, there's no point with the gas prices where they are. No, because what's gonna happen is no one's gonna take that, and they're gonna have to go in and they're gonna have to add more money to the tip, or they're not gonna get their food. That's what's gonna happen, because there's just no way. Like, I've had some crazy orders come to me, and I'm like, who's doing that? Like, if anything, it needs to go to a dasher that's close to the restaurant or close to the person or whatever, to where they're not having to drive that far for that amount of money. But I don't know why, you know, these companies, they send you orders where you're like way out. Why aren't you sending it to a dasher that's closer by them or closer to the restaurant, so it's not so just ridiculous to take that order, because you're not going to get paid anything for driving. Like, literally, it's going to take you an hour just to deliver like a $6 order. It's not worth it. But yeah, I completely agree with this person. It's not worth it. Don't accept it, because it's going to go to someone that's closer, so they don't have to drive as far, or they're going to have to go on the app and they're going to have to double the tip, because there's just no way. And their food's probably going to be cold by then. So just tip more in the first place anyways. Like, people don't even tip. Like, it's like you got 3 types of tippers. You got the no tipper, which, oh my gosh, like, oh my god, when I get no tip, I'm so pissed. But I'm like, whatever, you know what, it's done, because you don't realize you don't tip until you deliver the food. So it's like, whatever, right? But it's like, it kind of messes up your day. It's like, I just did all that, because it's always the no tippers where you have to do the most work for it, where you have to do like, it's the hardest to get them their food. You've had to wait the longest, and they didn't tip. It's always that. And then you got the one that tips decent, right? You know, okay, they tip, I guess, the 20% or whatever. And then you got the one that tips to where it's like, whoa, like, you just made my day. Like, this is what I'm talking about, because now you just made up for all the other people that didn't tip. A complaint. Okay, so it says, I just have to rant. I manage a small business with many very loyal and regular customers. The orders that order through DoorDash every week. Long story short, an order was scheduled to be picked up at 6:35, and we had the order ready at 6:30. I look at the tablet and it says the dasher has been waiting 10 minutes and it's not in the store. Turns out they were out in the parking lot in their car eating. I got out there and to tell them this is ridiculous. The order was due to be picked up over 20 minutes ago. And on the app, it makes our restaurant look bad because the customer says dasher waiting when the order has been ready. Ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, some people are savage. Like, okay, obviously if you need to take a bathroom break, you need to get gas, whatever, you just pause your orders and you don't accept anything. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously people's circumstances are different, but like, that's just savage. Like, to be sitting there and you're doing something else rather than going in the restaurant to pick up the food. Like, why are you even trying to do an order? Then do what you gotta do first. Like, that's crazy. So it says the lady comes in finally to pick up the order and is extremely rude, claiming that she came to our store before and the order is never ready, so she figured she'd wait. Which I completely get. I know there's certain restaurants, I honestly, like, okay, I'll get there early, and I'm not gonna go in until it has the pickup time. I'm not gonna go in. There's no point, because a lot of times, like, literally 9 out of 10 times the food's not ready because they're just like a busy restaurant or whatever. Like, they're just not, they don't receive the order like fast enough, whatever. I wait till the pickup time to go in. Obviously, if you're waiting until after the pickup time, then that's on you, because you need to go in at least to check in. If you just have to come back out to the car, you have to wait in there, you have to do that. But yeah, going past the pickup time is probably not a smart idea. Okay, what does this say? Oh, okay, so she said the order's never ready, so she figured she'd wait. BS. We also have orders ready, and I've never ever seen her before in my life, and I work a lot and recognize many of our app drivers who love picking up orders because we are efficient and fast. Anyway, I blocked her from our store and gave her a thumbs down. 90% of our drivers are lovely, clean, and very professional and polite. However, when I get drivers like this, it makes our store look bad, and I may have just lost a loyal customer who spends almost $100 with us weekly. I appreciate you all who actually give. Cheers. Wow. Well, hey, you know what? That's crazy. That is crazy. She won't be picking up from that store again. But you know what? I know that if I'm waiting a certain amount of time, I do make sure to key it in. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, especially if they're not even busy. Like, they're not busy. So what's taking 20, 30 minutes for you to make this person's food? Like, it should have already been halfway done. Or if, like, I walk in and no one's helping me. I'm just standing there. Like, I've had that a couple times. So I'm like, because, like I said, I have my little one with me. So I'm like, okay, y'all need to speed it up. Because, I try to entertain them as long as I can. They're in the carrier, they're on the boob, whatever. But like after a certain amount, 5-10 minutes, it's like, okay, they're gonna want to get down, they're gonna want to run around. I don't have time for that. Like, what's the deal? Like, if they've let me know, oh, okay, we're still trying to do this and that, then it's like, okay, I'll let my little one play, whatever. But if it's like no one's letting me know anything and I'm just standing there and it's like, okay, y'all are rude. Y'all need to at least let me know what's going on so I can tell the customer and I can mentally prepare, like, okay, we're going to be here for a few minutes. Like, that's all it takes. But a lot of these restaurants, they don't care. But I think that's it, folks. I think that's it. This was kind of fun. Yeah, this is fun reading off of Reddit. I think we're going to make this a regular thing. I mean, hey, I guess you guys will tell me if you enjoyed it. Because I was thinking about doing this a couple months ago. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that could be a segment where I read off of Reddit, like, based off of, like, other dashers or, like, I guess customers and stuff that, post on the forum or whatever. But I just wasn't sure. But, hey, we tried it today. And so, yeah, I think this should be something new, that we do every once in a while, right? And then it gives me a chance to kind of give you guys what's going on with me, like what happens when I go and deliver, right? But if you guys enjoyed, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and comment down below if, you have anything to say, and any opinions or whatever. I'll try to reach back. And that's it, folks. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, and if you want to keep doing these, then comment down a French fry in the comments.